Have you ever noticed the moment you decide to change your life, everything around you gets uncomfortable? The people around you start to change. The conversation that you're having with people start to change. Even you start to notice that you are starting to change. That because growth comes with a cost. May cost you a friendship. May cost you a relationship. Even some of the people that used to support you may not want to support the new version of you because they're used to the old version of you. But that ain't something that you need to worry about. You said you wanted to change. You said you wanted to grow. You said you were trying to become a better version of yourself. So that means that stuff that was in the past, that stuff that was lingering, stopping you from getting to that next level, you got to be willing to go ahead and let it go. And during that journey, I know for myself also, when I went along the journey of making growth and change, I wanted to bring other people along. Hey man, you need to start doing that, bro. Come on, we can change. But that was delaying my growth because maybe they weren't ready to change. Maybe they was comfortable with what they was doing. But I know I wasn't. I know that it was time for me to make some adjustments. So you got to think about that. When you trying to make that next level, change yourself and grow, you ain't gonna be able to bring everybody with you. I'm telling you, it's gonna delay your growth. And some people gonna misunderstand you. Because like I said, they're used to the old you. This new person that they talking to, they like, what is that? He talking about change and grow. He ain't on this. They may feel like you think you better than them. But you ain't trying to be better than them. You just want to be a better version of you. You know what you feeling. You know what you thinking. And I know for myself, man, I had to do a lot of self-reflection. Had to fight a lot of demons. It was a lot of things that I was doing that I was thinking this was normal. I was blocking it out until I was put in an isolation mode and started questioning why am I doing some of this stuff. So that deep self-reflection, that led me to healing. I need to fix this. I got to get rid of some of these habits, whether that's an addiction or whatever it is that you're doing. I know for myself, I used to smoke heavy. And I never looked at it like I'm addicted to this. I'm overdoing it because it was normal to me. I did it so much on a daily basis. But I used that to cope. When I was smoking all the time, I was using that, telling myself, this ain't nothing wrong with me smoking all the time. But a lot of times, smoking weed all the time, it just used to have me drained. Smoke, shit, yeah, I used to think a lot, but it just used to drain my energy. Like I ain't want to do nothing but smoke and chill. Nothing positive came with me smoking. I'ma just say that. But I'm not trying to say smoking can hinder your, yeah, it can. It can hinder your growth if you allow it to. But if you know how to control it and say, you know what, I don't need to smoke 3-5 a day. Maybe you need to smoke to get your morning going so you can go work out. You're intentional with it until you can say, you know what, I don't need this to work out. But that was something that I had to deal with. I was bad with that. And it ain't just easy to stop doing something that you've been doing for a long time. You got to take it day by day, step by step. But whatever that is that you feel like that's in your life that could hinder you from your growth, whether that's a habit or activity or a person or an environment, you got to be willing to face it and see how you can handle that and move on from that and grow from that. Because I also was involved in street activities that, you know, I thought I was never gonna be never leave that lifestyle. I thought, hey man, I'm straight, I'm getting money, I'm chilling. It came with a lot of stress and a lot of, you know, bullshit, but I was getting money. That's the only way I knew to get money. I didn't want to work for nobody. I didn't want to go get a regular 9 to 5 job. So I said, shit, I'm in these streets. I'm getting good money. But I remember I used to always tell my cousins when I was in that lifestyle, like, damn, bro, I'm drained, I'm tired, bro. I'm chilling, bro. I used to sit in the trap, smoking, you know, do my thing, get my bread, stay to myself. But my energy was always drained. But that's because their lifestyle is a low vibrational lifestyle. You know, hustling, doing all this. You got a lot of negative energy come with that street activity. And I had to look at that and say, you know what, this draining, this is stressful. But also, I'm choosing something that I can lose my freedom and my life in this lifestyle just because I want to get some money. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Once I decided, like, man, this ain't it, bro. I ain't risking my freedom. It took a long time, but I'm glad it clicked. Hey, man, we gotta let that shit go, man. And I'm thankful that the most I had to take things away from me to accept that. You know, cause when you up all the time, you up. It's hard to just be like, man, I'm straight, bro. I got 75, 80,000, bro. Shit, I'm gonna re-up. But when you broke and you lose it all, you can't find no outlet. It's a little bit more difficult to get to that money. So that's just something that I did where I wanted to share that part of my story with you guys. Cause you know, you never know who out there going through something similar like me. So if that's you, you know, man, that lifestyle can be draining, bro. And it could be dangerous for your health. And I didn't know how I was gonna get some money, but I had trust in the Most High that something positive was gonna come out of me leaving that alone. And once I started asking, look, man, show me something else, show me another route. I got introduced to learning how to invest in the stock market. So that was another route for me to take to put my money and see my money grow. It wasn't as fast as the street lifestyle, but it was a safer option. It was a better option. It was a healthier option for me. That was me though. But like I said, letting go of those habits so that you can grow and change your life, that's gonna be beneficial. And being able to accept that you're gonna have to spend some time alone to self-reflect, that self-reflection will let you know what you need to heal. You could need to heal from childhood trauma. You could need to heal from that relationship that you had to leave alone. It's a lot of things that people go through and a lot of trauma that people hold that they don't even know they need to heal from. Because I was one of those people. I didn't know I needed to heal from childhood trauma, like seeing my parents fighting, argue, and you know, a lot of stuff I went through growing up, it wasn't normal. I should have probably been seeing some of this stuff, around some of that stuff. But I had to heal from that because we can only I started to see some of the ways that my parents had in our household appear in my household because we can only parent how we was parented. So once I started to go into that healing, I started to see a lot of stuff that I was raised by really was messed up because my parents could only parent the best way they knew. They had me at a young age. But once I was able to heal, I was able to even forgive them for some stuff that I probably had been holding in for a long time. Because I had to accept the fact that my parents probably wasn't ready to be parents when they had me, but they did the best they could with what they had. You feel me? So when you in that when you in that healing stage, if that's something that you gotta heal from, if that's something you need to forgive your parents about, something that happened to you as a in a childhood, you may have felt not loved, not got enough attention. My dad was hard on me. He made but that helped me because he prepared me for some stuff that a lot of my peers they wasn't prepared for when they was an adult because no man was in the household to show them how to handle that. But now me and my dad, we could joke about that stuff because I healed from it and I was able to see from a different point of view that maybe he wasn't ready to be a dad and maybe he needed to heal from some things too. So I just wanted to touch on that in case there's somebody out there going through that. It's okay you got to forgive people when you're going through that healing journey. I ain't saying you're going to forget, but just forgive. That healing going to help you build that new you. You can't get to that without trying to heal some of the things that are keeping you stuck in that past version of yourself. So just think about that. That healing is a key part of that rebuilding yourself. But trust me, going through that taught me a lot about myself. I was able to connect with the Most High on a deeper level because ain't nobody around me but me. I got to listen to whatever I got right here with me. I can't run from nothing. I was able to face it and know it wasn't hard, but it was worth it. It definitely was worth it. And that reward of healing and rebuilding myself, it brought peace. So whatever I want you to know, when you go through that healing and rebuilding, it's gonna bring some peace in your life. It's gonna help you figure out what is your purpose. That's what they're gonna do for you. It's gonna help you create healthy boundaries. Because some of those people ain't gonna be deserving of your energy no more once you step over and become that new version. Not because you don't like them, because you are not aligned with them anymore. So don't feel bad when you create those healthy boundaries and them people try to gaslight you to make you feel like you think you better than them or you don't want to deal with them or whatever the case may be. But you trying to focus on you. You know what causes peace in your life and you know what is chaotic in your life. And when you decide to put them healthy boundaries up so nobody can bring that chaotic energy in, that's a level up. You don't build self-respect, self-love. You gain all of that when you go into that self-reflection, healing mode, rebuilding mode. I ain't used to have self-love. I ain't used to have self-confidence. But when I did that self-reflection, that healing and building, that helped me gain that. It's a beautiful thing, man, that healing and transformation and rebuilding yourself. Because you couldn't have told me 7 years ago that I wasn't going to be in the streets hustling. Because that's all I knew. And I went trying to look for something that was going to bring in a different type of income. Because I didn't think nothing was going to make me that type of money. Especially not a regular 9-to-5 job. But that was one of the best decisions I made in my life. So if it's something that you that's keeping you stuck and you know it's not healthy for you and you know it's stressing you out and draining your energy, let it go. I promise you it's better days ahead. Just let it go. Trust me. Because that lifestyle didn't align with who I am, who I was becoming. So whatever is don't align with who you are becoming, you got to be willing to go ahead and let it go, man. But I'm going to tell you this. The truth is, becoming a new version of yourself isn't free. It comes at a cost. It may cost you some people. You just going to be willing to let them go? May cost you some relationships. We just can't have no excuses. It's going to cost you your comfort zone. Because I had to lose a lot of stuff to get to where I'm at. If this video resonated with you today, man, tap in. Make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. If this was helpful to you, I do one-on-one coaching. Is that something that you're interested in? Make sure you check out the link in my about section, man. Thank y'all, fam. Thank you for tapping in. I'm out.